So my name is Kim. I'm a holistic nutrition consultant with a really strong focus on prevention. So if you're here, it's because you've booked a chat with me. So I put this video together to give you a broad outline of my program so that we can make the most of our time together during our call. So I know this is going to stir up a bunch of questions. I suggest grabbing the paper and pen, and I'll answer all your questions when we meet. So when I started this gig, my eye was on prevention. Once I hung up my sign and set up shop, no one was calling me saying, "Hey, I want to rock my golden years. Can you help me?" So folks were reaching out with complaints like their weight was creeping up despite doing all the things. They were feeling exhausted. They were dealing with aches and pains. Their hormones were all over the map. They were dealing with hot flashes, PMS. Some folks were struggling with digestive issues. Some people were reaching out because they were dealing with something called metabolic syndrome. So metabolic syndrome is a cluster of symptoms called high blood sugar, high blood pressure, high cholesterol, usually all wrapped up in belly fat. So this is a brief list of things that I can definitely help with. The good news is there's an underlying common denominator that connects all of the things that I just mentioned. Insulin is the common denominator. So I like to refer to insulin as the body's master commander. So insulin's a hormone that we all have in our body. And the only thing you need to know for today's presentation is that as our cells start to become more and more resistant to insulin, things start going sideways and symptoms start appearing. So bottom line, if you're struggling with any of the conditions that I rattled off on the previous slide, there's a big chance that insulin resistance is at the root of your issues. So insulin resistance makes you crave things like carbs and sugar. Deal with insulin and cravings go away. Insulin tells the body to store fat, so it's almost impossible to lose weight when your cells are resistant to insulin. Insulin drives up inflammation. It's connected to that metabolic syndrome that we just talked about. So if you've ever felt like you're fighting against your body or like your body is betraying you, it is not. This is likely what's going on. And the good news is that it's reversible. So part of my coaching package involves a program called Metabolic Balance. Metabolic Balance takes care of the physiology. I call it the nuts and bolts part of my program. So Metabolic Balance is a rock star at resensitizing those cells to insulin. And remember from the previous slide how insulin resistance leads to all kinds of misery. Metabolic Balance will help undo that insulin resistance. So MB checks all of the boxes for me. So it's a holistic approach to nutrition, to prevention and weight loss. It's a personalized nutrition program. So the meal plan's created just for you based on blood values. There are no fake foods or weird supplements. It's not a starvation diet. There's no calorie or point counting, just real delicious food. So not only does Metabolic Balance do an awesome job at weight loss, if that's one of your goals, there's also some massive prevention power that's baked right into the program. So basically, I will provide you with a signed requisition, send you to a private lab for blood tests. I generally get the results back in less than a week. After I get your blood test results back and your intake forms, I will be all ready to generate your plan. So metabolic balance is divided into 4 phases. For the purpose of today's presentation, I just want to zoom in on phases 1 and 2. These phases last a total of 16 days. This is important because if you don't think that you can pull off these 16 days, this program may not be a good fit for you. All right, so let's quickly review the 2 phases. Phase 1 involves a thorough bowel cleanse. You will be eating delicious vegetable meals for 2 days. So don't worry, I've got recipes. This phase is really designed to set you up with a strong foundation. Phase 2 lasts 14 days. This is the only time that I will be asking you to aim for perfection. You're going to be following your meal plan implicitly. You're going to be weighing your food. You're going to be following the exact foods on your meal plan. You're going to be preparing your own food. And there's also no added oils or fats during phase 1 and phase 2. So it's going to be important to create a little bit of extra space in your life. I want to double tap on the importance of phases 1 and 2 because the more engaged and diligent clients are during these 16 days, the better their results. I see it all the time. Phases 1 and 2 are really the launch point. It's like pushing the reset button. These phases are a great detox. They move the needle fast. Okay, so if these phases are done well, and I'm going to show you some client messages in a second, it boosts motivation, it gets your attention. It's just a really good start. Big picture, phase 1 and 2 do not, absolutely do not represent what the program will look like in the long term. We will not restrict any foods, big picture. I never ever want clients weighing their food long term. This is not a low fat program. So we are going to be bringing those delicious healthy fats back in very quickly. Bottom line, I work really hard to keep clients out of diet mentality. So as I mentioned, metabolic balance takes care of the physiology and the nuts and bolts part. You get a repeatable process that really works, okay? You cannot get metabolic balance without the coaching component. Metabolic balance without the coaching is basically just another diet, and we know that diets don't work, okay? I learned this the hard way. So when I first started with metabolic balance, I had this strategy. It worked every time. It took the guesswork out of weight loss. My clients were losing weight, they were ditching meds, they were reducing inflammation. It was amazing. As time went on, some of my clients slipped back in those old ruts, as often happens, and some of the people regained the weight. This was devastating to me. And that was the moment that clicked and where I realized that just addressing the nuts and bolts or the physiology was not enough. So my coaching has evolved over the years to include things like habit change, mindset, managing stress, dialing in sleep, making your healthy food delicious, maximizing your time in the kitchen. And for some folks, all of this requires learning how to set boundaries and learning how to prioritize self-care. So if these things are fluffed off, the chances of reverting back to those old patterns and ruts is pretty high. And this is called being human, and it's why the coaching component is so important. So if you've attempted to make changes in the past that didn't stick, it's not because you don't have what it takes or because you lack willpower. It's much more likely that your strategy had some missing parts. So I'm sharing a few client messages with you just to give you an example about what I mean when I say that phase 1 and 2 can really move the needle. Okay, so this client started on May 30th. The message was sent 2 weeks in. He lost 25 pounds, reduced blood pressure from 182 over 105 to 155 over 95. Blood sugar went from 8.6 to 5.2. This gal started on January 17th, so this was 5 days in. She lost 8 pounds and her blood pressure stabilized. This client started on September 13th, so also 5 days in, lost 10 pounds. This message, I love the last part of this message. I feel so much better. I feel like my old self again. So if you're feeling it, absolutely go check out my website. There are some great client journeys that you can check out in the blog section. And I look forward to meeting you.